Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV podcast. This time, we're back.
Back again.
Last week, we had lockdown settings, remote,
big problems.
virtual. But this week, we're back. We're here, as you can see. Well, you might not be able to be listening on Spotify and that, but we are at Anarchy Brewery.
Oh, yeah. And we're back with some good stuff and all.
Good to be back. What you got there?
That is the Video Nasty.
Ooh.
Something that's been out of stock for a little while, but a bit of a classic. I've never had it. I think you've
Classic.
Once upon a time.
I had it years ago,
And it's absolutely lovely.
Try it
And
again.
they've got a personal favourite back in, Cheat Code. That is a sensational little drop.
That's probably the best one.
It is. It's absolutely sensational. I can't wait to get into it, but thought we'd start first with the Video Nasty. And it's not nasty at all.
It's not. It's the good version of nasty. Big nasty base. So, loads.
Had a busy weekend, have we, Renton?
Yeah, a little bit. Bit of a whirlwind.
Not much to talk about today, have we?
God, sometimes, we are, during the day, getting my heads together, thinking, right, we'll talk about this, we'll talk about that. My
Trying
God.
to puzzle conversations, but this might be a bumper episode, this one.
It might just drag on, to be fair, but, being a big Ralph Ragnick fan, I want to get back for the Austria-Turkey game as well at 8.
Oh, you cut your chickens, Buster.
But we'll see how we get on, because there's loads to get through, as you can imagine. I did a video yesterday, somehow managed to keep it under 20 minutes and covered a lot of topics briefly. We're going to expand on them this evening and get your thoughts, Keg. As always, get your opinions in the chat so we can run through what you are thinking as well. And on top of all the topics we've got, there was something else that came out in the car on the way here, which we'll just briefly go over now, I guess, because Jameson's in the chat there. What you think about the Sela Cup games?
There we are.
The Sela weekend has been announced by Newcastle United in the past hour or so. And that is, again, for the 9th and 10th of August, the week before the season starts. Newcastle United men's will be in action on the Friday night against Girona. The La Liga underdogs that stormed that division last year.
Very Italian, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you have to ask us where Girona was, I'd be like, well, that's Syria.
Definitely.
Girona.
But
nope. Espanol.
Espanol. And they were doing well in Espanol. Obviously, the same one as Man City.
Came out of absolutely nowhere. Fucking Randy Orton FC, who just came out of nowhere, top of the league for nearly all of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
And then, same owners as Man City. Some big stars there. And they got some big wages, so they're flying a little bit.
Yeah, doing well.
All right. And then we're playing Stade Brest on the Saturday afternoon for that Sela Cup. Got the famous trophy.
Yeah.
I'm taking it seriously.
Reigning champions.
People tell me we haven't won now for 70 years. Did you not see Jacob Murphy last year? Yeah?
You
Celebrating
didn't
the
see
Sela
Scott
Cup.
Parker with the Total Cup certificate?
I mean, these are serious competitions. People are trying to tell me, it's been ages. It hasn't. It's been a year.
Yeah, Sela Cup champions.
Bring it back. Champions. I'm not messing around. I want to make it happen. And then the women's also play on the Saturday at 1 p.m. Their game. Opponents haven't been announced just yet, but they will get a trophy this year as well, which is nice because they didn't get one last year. No, this year the first one, so they'll be lifting a trophy as well, hopefully.
Did they win?
They won,
but didn't get a trophy.
Didn't get a trophy. No,
that was very well thought.
Wasn't I?
Only made one trophy. Shared around, really.
Well, why not? But this year the budget's bigger this year. Yeah, PSL deadline's passed. They can afford 2 trophies now.
Well, we've made some money this weekend, so I'm sure we can afford to make a trophy for the women if they win.
Yeah, got trophies galore on that weekend of August. So the tickets and everything are on sale on the Newcastle United website now. Let me know if you're going. I'm sure we will be there. As the appetite will be very much up for club football.
It will be.
A week before that opener against, who we got first game again? Southampton. A week later on the Saturday. Good old 3 o'clock kickoff. So there we go. Who else we got in the chat? And before we do discuss the topics, R.I.P. Atsu. Very good name. I like that. R.I.P. Atsu every time. If he wants to go, then let him go. We don't want any sulking like boys at our club. Obviously, that's Anthony Gordon. Yeah. I guess they're talking about there, and that's the first topic we're going to dive into in just a minute, as you've got journalists saying that his head has been turned by the opportunity to join his boyhood club, Liverpool. EG's asking and replace him with who exactly? Shieldsy. Shame about Riggs signing a professional contract at Sunderland. Yeah. Could have been good value after Tribunal maybe develops and we're signing in a few years.
He is still young, so there's no rush. At least pretend we've signed him and he's just playing for Sunderland for some loan for some experience down there in the Championship. Then we'll sign him when he's a bit mature. I didn't realise he hadn't signed a professional contract. I didn't realise he was playing on a bloody schoolboy
contract.
He's been one of the best players. He hasn't even got a fucking contract.
He's there fighting over negotiation.
He should. But he's still, what, is he 16? Is he 17 yet? So he's
still 16.
Still a bad, and so Nate Rush will get him when the time's right, I'm sure.
I'm sure, Will. We know he's a Newcastle supporter, any so
Yeah.
he'll be here soon. If he carries on doing his thing, then I'm sure we'll get him. Even Aaron, as always, in the chat. Even lads, have you heard about the young and Lucas? No. When I think when I think of Lucas, I think of the oldie Lucas from Spurs. Little baldy Lucas.
Lucas Moura.
Lucas Moura, aye.
Yeah. What about Lucas Leiva?
Lucas Leiva, aye. Liverpool legend.
Yeah, the crab.
The crab. Hasbro Hog, what do you think about signing Ruddy? What do you think about signing John Ruddy?
Oh, we're going to get into that, are we?
Yeah, we'll stay tuned, Hasbro. That's further down the list, that one.
Yeah, it is. It's on the list.
Down the list, that one.
Yeah.
Evening,
Brace
Ian.
yourself.
As always, hi, Paul. Good afternoon,
Ian.
Kevin from Florida. If you had to pick between these three wingers, who would you want on the right? Sancho, Chiesa, Nico Williams. I would say, even though I've been a big fan of Chiesa, Nico Williams at his Euros is tearing it up.
Yeah, it's class.
Apparently, we're going to offer Gordon new contracts. Here's Jackie. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Because obviously, probably deserves it after last year. And it's one way of making him stay. Rafinha, the Brazilian from Barcelona, is coming to UFC. Matty says Jonathan. Well, there was more reports today linking us with him, but they weren't the best of sources, so I didn't really make a video on it or do a social post about it because I didn't really like the source.
Nah.
But
he's
been in the background. He's been in the background for a while. I would take him, but it's just a name I can't really see happening.
Nah. But yeah, there's plenty on the table there. We'll get into most of that. But someone says, hey, he plays more left wing.
He does, eh?
Yeah. I don't need left. We don't need left.
No, we don't.
We're desperate for some right wingers. We've got a bit of depth on the left, so I'm not really bothered about getting into the market for a left winger, even if you look to adapt them. Just get a right winger.
Which he can do, I think. He is actually.
Yeah, I think he could play there quite easily, but I'd rather just get someone who's a more natural, preferred right winger.
I think everybody wants him now as well, don't they?
Yeah.
They have a good game at the Euros, everyone wants him. Price tag doubles.
Big competition, big price tag. So, yeah, just forget about him for this year at least anyway.
Yeah. Right then, let's dive into topics and cake.
Come on,
Steve's sarcastically putting there, much to talk about tonight, lads? Double question mark. Not really, but we'll try our best. Just the 29 topics to get through or something. So let's
start.
Go. Anthony Gordon, then, as the title is, has his head been turned? Because you've got journalists saying so. I've had people messaging me, even AJT, shout out him, Cock TV, sausage. He's been saying the day, I'm hearing he's coming. I'm hearing his head's been turned. He wants to come. Liverpool boyhood fan.
Get off the wind up.
So, what do you think?
I don't believe it, and I don't think any sources would even have that to confirm. Like, if it was true, where's that come from? I don't think anyone would have that information to release if it was true. But I think we did mention it a few weeks ago. Like, he is a Reds fan, isn't he? Like, he came from Everton, obviously, so everyone thinks he's an Everton fan, but he was born a Liverpool fan.
Jimmy Carragher.
Yeah, and we mentioned a few weeks ago that people like, was it Tossin or maybe Elise being a Man United fan, we always thought like they would have the edge because everyone growing up will want to play for your boyhood club. Inevitably, that's one of the big reasons why Shearer chose Newcastle over Man United back in '96 or whatever. Like, could have stayed at Man United and won absolutely everything, but wanted to come to his boyhood club, and you've got to respect that. So I think there is obviously going to be a part of Anthony Gordon that would like to play for Liverpool, and I think it's crazy to think that that thought isn't in his head. But you've also got to think about his career, where he currently is, what's happening right now, and I think he's happy. I think he's one of our key players. I think he could go to Liverpool and become one of their key players, but Liverpool's one of them teams already like fighting for the top, and obviously that's going to be attractive for him and all. Like, it could be, if he wasn't a Liverpool fan, like Liverpool, City, Arsenal, they're all going to be attractive because you're up there fighting. With it being his boyhood club, yes, there's going to be that added attraction, but right now, I do think it's bollocks. I don't think we're in the market for it either. I think Liverpool would have to break their record fee to sign him. Like, obviously, there was this talk about the issues with transfer fees. Like, was it PSR? Like, whatever the fuck it is. Like, yeah, like, if he was going to go, he would have went over the weekend. Now that
I agree,
we haven't been forced into selling him, which is what everything's been, like Bruno, Isaac, Gordon, they've all been thought about being sold, but it was kind of being forced due to a deadline. That deadline's gone. So Liverpool can fuck clean off now. If you want him, then come with well over 100 million bags.
Silly money.
Yeah, so they couldn't afford him. I don't think he's serious about going. Maybe he's in his career at one point. I'm sure he would like to play there before he retires, but he's, 22, 23 years old. Like, we don't need to talk about him retiring now, going to finish his career in America or Dubai or wherever it is. Like, he's a young kid, enjoying his football, one of our key players. He ain't going anywhere.
I think that there would have been a possibility of him going last weekend. Like, obviously, a lot of people have said it. Sky Sports even confirmed that talks did take place where Liverpool were in, and we obviously wanted Gerald Kwanzaa as part of the deal. Yeah. Liverpool didn't want that. They see him as a huge part of their future.
Fair enough.
So then it stopped there, really, because, again, we're not that desperate before PSR that we're just going to accept 70 million for Gordon.
Yeah.
Remember, we paid 45 from 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's kicked on massively since then.
We're at least doubling that. Probably trebling it.
Yeah. Over 100, 120 million easily, really. When you think now he's getting the England set up, he will eventually get minutes once Southgate leaves. And any other normal manager sees his talent and realises the left-hand side is perfect for him. But it was a possibility last weekend, I would say that, and that's why it has been a crazy weekend. There's even more. We're going to talk about other players that came close to leaving over the last few days. Anthony Gordon was one of those. Like you said, when your boyhood club does come in for you, yeah, I'm sure his head was. Yeah. I wouldn't say head turned in that sense, but in terms of maybe thinking, actually,
interest, like picks your ears up a little bit, going, Liverpool won, isn't it?
What my boyhood club won is who've won the Champions League and the Premier League in recent years. They're in the Champions League again now.
Say, if it wasn't your boyhood club, it's Liverpool.
Yeah, still Liverpool. Still one of the biggest clubs ever. So you totally get that.
Yeah.
And it will be, like you said, his probably dream to do that and play there. But I think, it doesn't really suit him that much going there right now. I know, obviously, they're in the Champions League. We're not.
Yeah.
But the Klopp era's gone now. No one knows what's coming next.
Yeah.
We don't know what the Slot's looking like. He's another bold Dutchman. Ten Hag, hopefully.
Could be the Hodgson era.
Yeah, it might be. Arnie Slot, if he doesn't get off to a good start, they're going to sack him. They're going to be doing a Chelsea thing where they swap managers, or is Arnie Slot going to feel like I just said, Baldy, Dutch, Ten Hag. How's he going to get on? Because you can't really judge someone off a few seasons in the Dutch league, for me, anyways.
No, great.
Just like the players are like that, so no one knows what's going to happen with Liverpool and how they're going to get on. And like you said, Salah's still up for maybe leaving this summer.
Yeah,
Van Dijk's just at the Euros looking for again.
His best. Yeah,
I think Van Dijk's been past his best
for the last 18 months, mate.
I know they went on to win the game 3-0, but he made a couple of mistakes. Van Dijk against Romania. We know he's made mistakes in the Premier League recently, so it's a big transition for Liverpool. So I think it's also a bit of a risk for Anthony Gordon. Whereas Newcastle got a free hit next year to do what they did 2 years ago.
Football, crack on with the Premier League.
One game a week, top 4, try and get to a final again, try and actually win it this time. So I think Newcastle's a good place to be for Anthony Gordon. And I know, he might have fancied it. When he heard of Liverpool's interest, he probably thought, that is a dream come true. But the PSR deadline's passed now. Yeah. We don't have to sell. We've made 70-odd million from Anderson and Minteh, which we'll get into soon, and Dan Ashworth. So we're not in that position now. I think that ship has sailed quite quickly, to be honest with you. And like you said, Anthony Gordon, Liverpool, not necessarily something they need.
No.
I was speaking to Alex today, like I said, in Liverpool fan. He was saying he's not even that asked. And this sums it up. Like, Gordon is absolutely adored here.
Yeah.
And he goes there and they're just like, we don't really need him.
Yeah. But I also get from like an outside perspective, like especially from like a Liverpool fan, because he played for Everton, I don't think they'll give a shit that he grew up a Liverpool fan. He's an ex-Toffee, but from the outside, he's a very unlikable character. Like, I couldn't stand the cunt when he played for Everton.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really that asked about signing him. I thought he was overpriced, to be honest, when we were signing for 45 million.
Majority of people did.
I wasn't buzzing about it, mate. Like, but when he plays for your team and once he gets to run, once he's liked, like, because I think his worst spell at Everton obviously came when the fans started to turn on him. So if he's liked by the fans, he's a fan favourite. Like, he is a likeable personality when he's in your colours, but I get from the outside perspective, he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah. But AGT's been calling him Aaron Robinson, a diver, all of that. You know what I mean?
So I get Liverpool fans, obviously being an ex-Toffee, bit of a dislikable character, they wouldn't be asked until they signed him. He's playing for his boyhood club. He's wearing the red, and he's absolutely fucking smashing it. So then he'll be a fan favourite, guaranteed. No, I
agree. Got a super chat there by K-Sport UK that I had on the screen before. Shout out you for sending that in, mate. Appreciate it. Sell Gordon and get Kvaratskhelia. Great show. Big Georgian. Obviously did well at the Euros. He's got a big price tag on him as well.
Yeah, well, he has for a while.
Ian, who's a member as well, shout out Ian for being a member. I honestly think that Isak and Gordon talk was all a press exercise to show the Premier League were willing to comply with PSR and be on their good side, but never any intention to sell. I think there is some truth in that. There is obviously a bit of a PR masterclass by the club in my eyes, because when it was coming out that, Isak was in talks to Chelsea, Gordon's in talks to Liverpool, and then it softens the blow, doesn't it, for people who are whinging about Minteh and Anderson, because you think, well, yeah, we didn't want to lose Minteh, but I tell you what, at least we haven't lost Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean? So it changes things a lot.
Swings and roundabouts, yeah.
It makes it look good. But Anthony Gordon, for me, we'll put it on now, okay? We'll see how we think it's going to go. I think he'll still be Newcastle next season. I think
he's not going this year. Nah. I don't think anyone will. Like, anyone that's been linked, like, we're not going to be held to ransom. We don't have to sell anyone. Like, we did at the weekend. We don't now. So if anybody wants what prized assets, Gordon, Isak, or Bruno, come with 200 million bags.
Yeah.
People can look at price tags, but you don't sell at a price tag. Like, it's supply and demand. If you want our player, give an offer where we're willing to accept. Like, they all might be rated about 100 million. That doesn't mean we're going to accept that. Like, we don't want to sell. So if you want to take him away from you, you're going to have to give us something like a bargaining chip. You're going to have to give us 20, 30, 40 million over the price tag for it to even consider it. So we're not going to sell them cheap. We're going to negotiate all they like. They're probably not going to come up to our expectations because they are what prized assets. And we're not in any need to sell them anymore. So none of them are going this summer, guaranteed.
No.
Maybe he's come back to this conversation in 12 months. It might be different, but this year, no chance.
I agree, and I think it's the same with Isak. Yeah, Chelsea might be interested. Chelsea might have made inquiries, but once Chelsea are told, every player's got the price, give her 130 million, 140 million minimum, and then they'll walk away.
Scared them off, yeah.
So, I mean, there was even talks coming out from Chelsea outlets that, they tried to offer 4 players to sign Isak. There was a report that said they tried to offer Nicholas Jackson, Conor Gallagher, I forgot the other 2.
Jesus.
There was 2 other players as well. Maybe was Chalobah one of them, or... Yeah, anyways, they tried to offer 4 players for Isak.
Plus cash?
I don't know if it was plus cash, like.
If it's not, then
Gallagher's worth, I think they were rating him at about 40 mil. They signed Jackson for 30 odd, didn't they? So I doubt it would be cash as well. But again, it's like, no. Because the only good thing about you could look at in terms of selling someone and why we would want hard cash is because of amortization for financial fair play. And then obviously we'd be able to double, triple that. And then you could go and actually sign top players. I don't see how it would really benefit us. Getting those type of players in the door. Your Gallagher's, your Jackson.
It's kind of like a rebuild, sort of. Like, it's decent players that are going to fill up our squad quite nicely. Like, Jackson's a decent striker. Gallagher's all right. Chalobah's defensive depth. And if there was another one in there, pool them together. Yeah, looking at maybe he's £100 million in transfer value. But if you play with 50 million cash, that's not a bad offer. But still, nah, not for me.
Not doing it.
No.
Yeah, I think the same. And I think they will give her that one more year because we deserve it, and we'll see where we're at come a year's time. Because hopefully we'll be back in the Champions League again and push.
Yeah, we need these players to get back in the top 4.
Because what other was said in that article was also mentioned. How much Eddie Howe is admired by Anthony Gordon. He loves playing underneath him. He does obviously love playing for Newcastle. He's got the city. He's playing the best football of his life. So. Yeah, I think it just totally suits them to stay. And it's the same thing we've been saying about Bruno all summer, isn't it? Like, it just makes sense for one more year at least, I think.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Bruno in a minute. But also, in that same piece from The Athletic, where they talk about the absolute madness of a weekend that was for Newcastle United before PSR came in, the deadline the other night, was even Kieran Trippier once again linked away, and apparently that could have happened if he wasn't on on international duty with England. So that's one I think is definitely happening this summer, to be fair. I think he'll leave.
I can see it. It depends who it goes to. I know Bayern Munich wanted him in January. Do we know who the new suitor is? If anyone comes in for him?
There's still clubs in Saudi. I think there could be into Miami. Beckham maybe wants him over there. Crossing balls into Messi. It's not a bad way to finish your career, is it?
Not a bad way.
In the Miami Sunshine?
I don't know how they're getting away with that, because I'm sure the MLS have got rules.
Have they?
I'm sure they've got international player roster spots kind of thing. But they've already got, I'm sure there's I don't know if they have like the NFL with salary caps and stuff, but they've got bloody Messi, Suarez, Jordi Alba, and Busquets. Like
Beckham's playing FIFA.
How the fuck can you put them all in? You get Trippier out of the game with them, and how does that make sense?
Actually start watching MLS.
Is this Monopoly? To be fair, there is an MLS All-Star game coming up. I think against like a Mexican League All-Star or something. But like all of them are in. So, but to be fair, they all play for bloody Inter Miami anyway. So they are the MLS All-Stars. There's no one else really. That's it. They're the All-Stars.
Miami All-Stars. But there's still a chance of them, obviously, Bayern Munich come back in, which I think they probably will.
I think they could do, yeah. But I don't know. Like, I think we had this conversation a few weeks ago, and like I'm kind of on the fence with it. I can take it or leave it. Really, like I don't want to see him go. In the main reason of him being a great leader, I think he's someone who has a lot of respect in the dressing room, and I think that goes really underrated in any squads. Like it was something that we were really lacking before we signed him. All we really had was Lascelles. And let's face it, especially back then, Lascelles shouldn't have even been in the starting 11 because he was shite. Since then, like we've had leaders like Burns, a bit of a leader. We've got other people that can take the captain's armband and roll with it. But Trippier is probably the best captain and leader in our squad, probably by a country mile. So I think losing him would be disappointing. And I know his performances last year weren't great, but he showed, especially at this Euros, he can be versatile. I know he hasn't really been played well. But we've already got his replacement, someone who was better than him last year in terms of consistency, at least anyway. So we've already got Tino there. We've got Harrison Ashby coming back off loan. I don't really know what his future is. We've got Kraft. So we've got depth. But he can play left back if we need to. So he's versatile and a massive leader. So in terms of squad depth, I don't really think there's a better backup right back in the world. If he dropped to our bench, that would be great. That being said, he's on a canny wage. He's pushing on a bit.
1 year left.
So 1 year left on his contract. So if we were to sell him for around about what we bought him for or more, I think we could actually make profit because we're only bought him for like 12 million or something. So if we sold him for like 15, I'm not bothered either way. I'd love to keep him, but if we sold him for 15, I'd get it.
Yeah.
So if whatever happens. I'm not really that arsed, to be honest.
No, I'm kind of the same way. I think there's positives of both outcomes, really, like whether you keep him or sell him. If
I would be disappointed, I would say, because he's probably been my favourite signing since the takeover. I think he's been our most important signing because he was the first one coming from a league winner in Spain and playing knockout football in the Champions League. He's the first one to take that risk to come to an almost certain relegated side. So, and he's been one of our best players, like his assists and everything. His consistency up until last year, he's been amazing. So I'd be gutted to see him leave, but. That being said, his best years are probably behind him.
Oh, they definitely are. He's 34 this year, but you're right. I'll always respect him for coming.
Oh, he'll always be one of my favourite right backs of all time.
Because he didn't include that relegation clause. So he was prepared to drop down to the Championship and play at Millwall. Do you know what I mean? And try and get it back up. So he'd always go down well for that. He'd always go down in history as that first signing post takeover. But when you've got Tino there, when the money needs to be spent elsewhere, and you're only playing one game a week. I would say maybe if we still had European football, I'd think, it'd be worth keeping that rotation and that. But I think you can just play Tino now and hopefully he can stay fit. And if you get a decent offer for him, because if you don't,
that's the thing.
If you don't
decent
accept,
offer.
Say if Bayern Munich came in, what they offered again in January, 13 million, and you don't accept it, then you either A, lose him on a free next summer, or B, have to give him a new deal. And neither of those really make sense.
You're not going to probably offer him a new deal unless he plays really... If we keep him and he plays really, really well. Say, touch wood, Tino gets injured and he has to be a starter and he gets back to that form, then you don't mind giving him another, maybe he's 1-2 year deal to keep him on for a little bit longer. Especially if we get top four and all. If he runs out like right until the last week of his contract, if we get top four and he plays well, then you offer him at least a new 1 year deal. That's fine. But on the other hand, if we're not going to get at least 15 million, so a little bit of profit on what we bought him for, then I don't even really mind losing him on a free. And I know it's not great business savvy. Like I know you in FFP terms, like 15 million can almost triple, and you can play around with that and spend the money. But for what was spent on him and how good of a servant he's been, I don't really mind losing him on a free. If we keep him for 1 more year and he helps us get top four backing up Tino or switching that role, that's another thing that I don't mind. Whatever happens with Trippier, I don't really care. I see positives in any situation, even letting him go on a free next year if we don't renew his contract. Like, I can see perks of keeping him and running out his deal, see what happens. If he's shit again, Tino certainly takes his spot, because I think right now it's up. Like, as fans, we know Tino's our best player, but in the club, they might still think that Trippier's our guy, because he's still our captain, really, and he's still like our leader. He's so experienced and whatnot. So Eddie Howe might still see him as our number one. So yeah, there's 3 or 4 ways we can go about dealing with Trippier, and I could take either one of them.
Yeah,
I don't really care anyway.
And people in the chat are bringing it up as well. Won't obviously go into details, but Tripp's house is up for sale. Makes sense for him to leave now. His life's a mess. He's 80 Wolf, remember? Because again, all you need to do is Google it. His personal life seems to be doing the old Swanee a little bit again. Troubles in his old marriage and everything, which we won't really get into. But that obviously shows that perhaps again, there's a bit of uncertainty and a bit of, maybe he said, I'm in talks, maybe go to Germany and maybe Saudi, and she's probably thinking I'm not moving out there with the kids, because remember in the documentary they said he moved to Newcastle because she was homesick from Madrid.
Yeah,
that's an hour flight.
That's
he's not going to move to Saudi or Germany.
That's what I was thinking and all. Like, yeah, like they want to come particularly to the north as well. Like, they didn't want to go back to London where he played with Tottenham. He's a Manchester lad, so the north of England was precisely where he wanted to be. Any one of the Liverpool, Manchester, maybe his Yorkshire, North East clubs, I think he quite happily would have taken a deal there. But so, yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for him to go to Germany or even further afield, like Saudi or America. Like, it doesn't really make sense. No,
it doesn't. But we'll see where he ends up. Let us know in the chat what you would do. Run his deal down, give him a new one, or cash in this transfer window. Quickly on this one, because I think we've talked about Bruno enough over the times, but again, straight away, his release clause expired last week. Yet you've still got the big guns of the media world, the Athletic, the David Ornstein, saying Man City are still having Bruno Guimarães as their number one midfield target this summer.
Good luck.
$100 million release clause is gone now. Yep. So do you maybe see Man City coming in and offering, I don't know, 80 or 120 or what? Or
they can offer 80 if they want. Good luck with that.
Newcastle paid 35 for Bruno Guimarães. So he's had a couple of brilliant years. He's a starter now for Brazil at Copa America today. What do you think realistically would it take to sign Bruno then? And let's be honest, if anyone's going to pay it, it's probably Man City, isn't it?
There's few people that I think could afford him in City or one, so it is a bit dangerous hearing about their interest. And I know Pep's a fan, and it doesn't surprise us that he probably is one of their top targets. But yeah, we had a $100 million release clause, and I think that would have been a bit of a bargain. I think that's his minimum value. So if anyone wants him, you're going to have to come in with 120. It's like anyone, like what I just said about Gordon, Isaac and all, like they were our star assets. We're not going to sell them cheaply. We're not going to sell them at a value that we think is market price. We're going to want more because we don't want to sell.
Yeah.
So someone's going to have to come in with a ridiculous offer. I would say that is minimum 120.
Yeah, I would probably get close to that, to be honest. Like, it has to be over 100, really. And you want to be looking at tripling your money, really, to be fair, don't you? Yeah.
So I don't think he'll go. I think he's happy here. He's going to City, probably be a bit of a squad player, probably more minutes than just squad rotation. I think he could start most games. But like anyone at City, like no one's guaranteed that place because they are so deep. Like even De Bruyne and Haaland sometimes play on the bench. They spent £100 million on Grealish. He can't get a game. I don't think he's guaranteed games, whereas here he's one of our star assets. So I don't see the point in the move at all. If they're willing to even pay the price, would he want to go? I don't know if he would. Like, I know he's guaranteed trophies. He's probably going to win the Premier League, probably going to win the FA Cup. Yeah, he's probably going to get to at least the Champions League semi-final. So it's a good move for him. Probably going to double or treble his wages. But I don't know. I don't, other than the trophy collection, I don't really see the point in it. I think he's better off here.
What I would say as well is similar to what I said about Liverpool, one of the new era of Arne Slot. Yeah. Pep Guardiola is obviously rumoured to leave next year, isn't
he? Yeah.
So if he goes next year, then it's a transition for Man City, because his dominance will be over. De Bruyne's getting older. Haaland's already said he wants to leave soon.
De Bruyne was as old as he was. I think I just seen yesterday. I think he's 33 now or something. I didn't think he was that. Where the fuck's that come from? That's mental, that.
Time flies.
I seen a post, I think, on Twitter saying he's like 33. I was like, De Bruyne's not 33. I had to Google it.
Is he actually 33?
I think so.
I didn't think he was that old either, to be honest. I thought he was like 31 or something.
I didn't even think he was any... Maybe he's 30. I think that's what I thought, like, at best.
But when City, I mentioned Guardiola leaving, they've obviously got the
33 at the end of last month.
Wow, 33. He's even older than me. When you mentioned, Pep potentially leaving, it's also the points deduction that's looming over them, the 115 charges.
Yeah.
We're going to finally find that out in November, what's going to happen with them. That's a bit of a risk and all, to be fair. That's a bit of a risk as well. When you've got De Bruyne leaving as well, and Haaland's basically said he wants to play abroad again as well soon. He's not going to stick around forever. So
I think Man City's like sort of a project, not in the same way that we are, but it's like you're going to go and get guaranteed trophies.
Yeah, you are like...
That's it. Like, Grealish has to leave City. He left his boyhood club in seek of glory, and he won pretty much all that in his first year. He's won a treble. I think he's won 2 Premier Leagues. He's won a Champions League, a couple of FA Cups, Carabao Cups, whatever. And now he's not getting game time, and he's lost his place in the England squad. Yeah.
To Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, is sell Gordon, buy Grealish. That's what you just said.
Not quite. But yeah, Grealish has to leave City. Like, and his career's going backwards now. Like, you've won the trophies that you wanted to. Now it's time to go back. Like, Villa's playing Champions League.
On the up.
Going back to Villa.
On the up.
All right. Come to Newcastle if you want.
I would have him in Newcastle.
I would. But, yeah.
Swap deal for Harvey Barnes.
And Nick Cash.
A winger that we have got rid of, though, Keg, which I bet you were absolutely gutted about.
Raging.
We've been talking about this since the podcast began 22 weeks ago, to be fair, haven't we? I mean, I was constantly linked. We thought, we'd probably keep a hold of him, at least have a look at him in Japan, we said. Have a look at him in pre-season, let Eddie wait with him. Well, Keg, unfortunately for you,
he's gone.
As number one fan, he has joined Brighton and Hove Albion for £33 million due to PSR rules. We didn't even get to see him play second in a black and white shirt.
Yeah, and because of that, you can't be mad at it. Like, signed him 12 months ago for about 7 million. We've just sold him for 33 million without him even playing a second. Did he even play for the under-23s? No. I don't think he did.
No,
not a game,
didn't represent Newcastle
not
at
in
all.
A pre-season friendly.
No.
Never ever seen him in the black and white shirt. And we've got 28, 27 million profit. Not bad.
Not bad at all, really.
Not bad at all. And we don't know what he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people pointed out he had a good year in the Dutch league, but who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? Exactly. Anthony.
I think I'd have a half-decent season in the Dutch league, to be fair.
I fancy starting to get double digits in the score.
So, yeah, we don't know what he can be. He rejected some offers from France. He wanted to play in the Premier League. We thought Everton was his best chance. Brighton's a good team, to be fair. It's a good move for him, I think. I think it's a better move for him than Everton. And we've got more than 30. I think Everton were only going to offer with 30. We've gotten 33. So you kind of grumble, can you? Like, yeah, I'm disappointed to lose a potential future star, but see how he does. Like, if he flops at Brighton, then we can be like, robbed you.
Hands down.
Yeah, we don't even know what he can be in the Premier League. So it is what it is. We had to do it to avoid the points penalty, and we've got good money for it. So yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
So how many goals do you think you'll score against for next season at St. James's Park? 35-yard screamer.
He'll probably score 4 goals all season against us. But Brighton's a bit funny because they were better like the year before. They got like European football, and even like maybe it's a bit before that. They had a bit of a down year last year.
Oh, they did.
And they're another team going through another managerial change. I think going from Potter to De Zerbi was a bit of a change, but De Zerbi looked really good. Then he's just fucked them off.
Marseille.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Marseille?
Marseille,
And remember how Ansu Fati was meant to be the next Messi?
That's what meant.
He even got the number 10 shirt at Barcelona when Messi left, which everyone thought they were going to retire, which probably would be kind of stupid. But because
Birmingham did it with Bellingham.
Yeah.
Good shout.
But yeah, Ansu Fati got the number 10 shirt after Messi left. They thought he was going to be their next superstar. Now they've got that Yamal. Like,
that's going to work out all right, I think.
He's doing well. But that was it. Like, Lamal's like came in and be like taking over him. He had a bit of a failed loan spell at Brighton. So I don't know what's going on with Brighton because they've like with the Dan Ashworth effects, like buying players for cheap and selling them on. Like they're just selling all the best players. Mm-hmm. Like Trossard's gone, people like that. Like I don't know about Brighton anymore.
Nah, Well, I've said this is the third time I can say it now. Instead of Liverpool, Man City potentially next year. Again, this year with Brighton because it's a new manager.
Yeah.
And this is the youngest manager to ever be in the Premier League.
He's what, 32 or something?
The youngest, I think he's German-American. Yeah. So I think he was born in Germany, brought up in America all his life. So maybe the other way around, but he's very untested. Where was he at?
Do it, Josie Marsh, and just buy all the US national team.
He was like the French second division or something, I think, wasn't he? St. Paul he was at.
Yes, that was it. So, well, did they get promoted? I think they might be in the...
I think he got them promoted, took over in the second division, but I mean, you don't know what you're going to get there, really.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what his future is going to be. Like, if it was Everton, if it was anyone even at Newcastle, there's no guarantees what his future could be. But Brighton, they're a bit in the grey at the minute, aren't they? They can't really work out what they're going to do next year. So, yeah, Minteh's future, fuck knows.
Well, they did amazing, obviously, to qualify for the Europa League. They got to the knockout stages, then got pumped off Roma. No real shame in that, to be honest with you. And then, obviously, the league form struggled with that. A bit like ours, because they just couldn't get a run going. Injuries. They had a lot of injuries as well. Obviously, Evan Ferguson was unreal at the start of the season, and before that, scored a hat-trick against us. And then he didn't really kick on. So it's all up in the air for Brighton. It's all up in the air for Jan Kuba Minteh, but time will tell whether that turned out to be an unbelievable bit of business by Newcastle, getting that much money, or if he kicks on, and then Chelsea probably sign him for 100 million in a year's time, like they did with Caicedo, Cucurella, and all the rest of the Brighton players. The other player that left in Keg, which we said we've talked about Minteh a lot on this podcast over the months we've been doing it now. We never talked about the potential sale of Elliot Anderson.
We didn't.
This one was completely out of the blue. Yeah. One Geordie midfielder we've talked about a lot leaving. Sean Longstaff. Yeah. He's still here. He's going nowhere. Next ball, dumb it. Anderson is gone. Forest, 35 million. Again, I think it's similar to Minteh, where you think, I can't turn that money down, man.
Nah, you can't. I don't know what I would estimate Anderson's true value at being, but
20.
I don't think it would be anywhere near that, to be fair. And again, it's not a big shame like Minteh. I think there was a potential there. Young lad, Geordie boy, there's now seeing a young Geordie lad come through, but historically, like Andy Carroll, we've let them go. But yeah, 35 million. And again, for PSR, we had to sell. And I think we got 68 million for Anderson and Minteh. That's fucking crazy, that. And pretty much sorted out. So it meant we didn't have to sell Isaac and Gordon or Bruno or anyone like that. So
phenomenal business.
Absolute brilliant business. And as much as I liked Anderson and I really, really wanted to stay, the Geordie Maradona, elements of Gaza in him, he's 22 years old. Brucey gave him his opportunity. He's been in the first team, in and around the first team since about 2019, maybe he's even 2018, maybe he's 19, I think. So maybe it's kind of when he pushed through.
I just remember there, I had a flashback to us doing a watch long against Arsenal, and Anderson comes on. Finally, Brucey! We wanted to play for ages. He's actually really good.
He was class, really good. He's a great player, and I really like him. But yeah, that value for someone who's been trying to get in the first team, but with the takeover, we're only going to move on. We're only going to get better and sign better players. If he hasn't solidified himself in the starting 11 now, would he ever?
Good point.
So for me, he was a squad rotation player that we've got 35 million for. Put the Geordie lad to the side, one of our academy guys. It's 35 million of pure profit because we didn't buy him. He's an academy lad, so it's insane business. But yeah, happy for him. And I think he's going to go on and do well. I think maybe it's one of the reasons why he didn't set himself here is one of the main reasons why I think we've been turned off numerous players in the past, one of them being James Maddison and another one being his new teammate Morgan Gibbs-White, is I feel his best position is probably in number 10, where Howe doesn't really play. So he's had to adapt to more of a number 8 role, sometimes plays out on the wing. I think he's a number 10. And I think if he can play that role, then he probably would develop better. But he's been playing out of position for me for the last 4 years.
Yeah, we've tried to use him as more of an 8.
I don't think he's a centre mid. A proper number 8 at least. Anyway, I think his best position is number 10.
Because he's never... Because didn't he play 10 at Bristol Rovers actually on loan? And then he was scoring with the goals. And they loved him under Joey
And Morgan Gibbs-White's been everybody's favourite target for the last couple of years. Might not go this summer. Maybe it's the summer afterwards, and Anderson could be the next in line to replace him. Whether he goes this year or not, I don't know. But that could suit him really. So
I guess he does need to be tested further forward to see if he can do that, because he didn't score a single goal for Newcastle in 40 odd appearances.
Yeah,
so it's you look at it like
assists.
that. Yeah, you got a few assists. But I'm in the same boat where I'm thinking getting 35 million for him.
Yeah.
When he potentially couldn't get a place on the bench for me if everyone's fit.
No.
In a sense, the bench is limited on a Premier League match day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your starting three is obviously Bruno, Tonali, Joe Linton. And then if Willock. Lewis Miley's fit.
Miley, yeah. And I know we still got Longstaff as well, yeah.
Are you fighting for the positions? Whoever you're playing against, you think, well, we need more some defenders on the pitch, yeah. We need some more strikers up there. So, we've got 5 keepers, so we'll have all them on the bench. So, where's he going to play? Where's he going to get a chance? And
absolutely. When we've got a fully fit squad, some weeks he might not even get on my bench.
35 mil for that. And he has been around for a few years now. And yes, he's been good, but has he ever been great? Is he going to reach greatness?
I think all he's ever shown is potential, but at 22 years old, you would have liked to seen that potential like 3 years ago.
I'll put it this way. I've seen more from a 17-year-old Lewis Miley in one season than I have from a 21-year-old Eddie Anderson in 4-5 seasons.
Potentially. But I think that could come down to positioning now. Like Miley's playing his position, whereas I don't feel like we've ever got the best out of Anderson because he's had to adapt.
And he has been really good. I thought he had some good appearances in the Champions League as well. A handful, I think, even
back in the last season where he got a bit of a run in the team. Like
a couple of players from PSG said, he was difficult to play against and stuff in the middle of the park. So that's a huge compliment for him. And listen, all the best to him. Good luck there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what I really like about it is that he done it for the team, like Maxi. Like they knew that they had to sell. Neither of them wanted to go, but understood the financial position that the club were in. So kind of took one for the team and left so they could cash in on them, which is so gracious. Like the pair of them deserve statues for that. Like they've kind of sacrificed themselves and put that own kind of happiness to the side for the club. Like the other them wanted to go, especially Anderson, being a jolly boy.
Didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure it would have broke his heart to leave, but he done it for the club. And thank you. Like that's all we can do. Like when Forrest play here, if he's in the starting lineup, fucking standing ovation.
No, absolutely. And never managed to score single goal for Newcastle. Just like Minteh will do. Guaranteed to score for Forrest against the Toon. Absolutely nailed on for that one. But there's a few in the chat as well saying likewise about the midfield depth, and people also giving a shout out to young Alfie Harrison, who was signed from Man City.
Yes,
got high hopes for at the club, who think, well, if push came to shove and we've got yet another injury crisis, you could maybe promote him to the senior team and give him a shot.
Definitely, yeah.
So there's an option as well. Someone else who we are thankfully seeing the back of, Daniel Sneaky Titchmarsh Ashworth.
But yes, fucking Snipper's doing.
You've actually got some work to do, Danny. Yeah. A nice few days off, few months off.
Since February.
Months off in the sunshine. Well, not much of it. In the garden, under your gazebo, flipping burgers all day long on the barbecue. Chicken skewers.
Come on.
Hot dogs. Cold plunge. In his hot tub.
So I'm like,
yoga mat.
Come on, lads, I'm worth more than that. Come on, just keep these negotiations going. Maybe it's till October time. Like, just keep them negotiations going for a little while. I don't mind me gardening. Who's going to trim me bush when I've got to be in the fucking office? You know what I mean?
Dan's been off that long. He thought he was furloughed. Do you know what I mean? He thought it was COVID.
Lockdown.
He thought there was a new virus.
I was left. He's gone since fucking February.
Do you know what I mean? He thought there was a new spread. He was gone, sitting in his garden the whole time. Eat out to help out, Daniel. Now he's back to work. Mr. Titchmarsh has signed up to do the pitch at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Finally, Jimmy Ratcliffe paid up for him. Just about anyways. Obviously, we were holding out for 20 million. There's loads of rumours, certainly, that we got 12 from him, we got 10 from him, even like a few million people are saying. At the end of the day, it's went towards PSR still, which helps.
I think that's pushed over the edge, to be fair, from reports I read. I don't know how true they are, but I think with the Anderson and Minteh signings, they're pretty much sorted out. But I think that might have still been like a couple of million to investigate, just make sure, have you balanced them books just right there? But the Ashworth compensations pushed over the edge, so now we're definitely in the safe. So, yeah. Well, I don't know what it is, and got to give a shout out to Toon Paul's here because he's absolutely fucking rattled the Man United fan base. Because
Is that him, was it?
I think it was Toon Paul's. He put a post out saying that they only got like 2 million or something for him, and now the Man United fans are like, Newcastle, fucking hand you there. You wanted
Saeed.
Yeah, you wanted 20 million for him, and you haven't even got that. Like,
I had Saeed TV quoting, tweeting us saying, hold that, Saeed, you fell for a Toon account.
Yeah. And hold what?
I know. Well, what, a few million for a direct football?
I know. It's not that serious. He didn't fuck Alpha really anyway, didn't he? Like, I didn't even know what he'd done for him.
No, well, the only thing he did do well, the Minteh thing was a good thing, to be fair. Thanks for that.
Yeah, Minteh was the only thing.
Profit that we got in the end. But, obviously he was there for, Isaacs.
They helped negotiations, maybe.
But to be fair, we had that in place from the off, when with Bruno and Botman and stuff, they were on the list, and it was, your Stevie and stuff working hard in that January.
Yeah,
it was last summer where he had the most impact, and that was Tino, Hall, Barnes, and Tonali.
Yeah.
And if we're being real, that hasn't worked out too well so far.
No, not really.
Hall, you think, yes.
You're doing out in January.
Tino and Tonali hopefully will, but in terms of helping us last year, we got knocked out the Champions League group stages, and we finished 8th, 7th, whatever it was. So, no, not the best last year, Daniel. And it's listen what we're doing this summer and how we'll get on. I'm all right with it, me. I'm pleased to see the back of him. You didn't want something out of the club. To be fair, we did a podcast when it broke a while back about his dodgy emails and all that.
Yeah, man. Snake in the grass. See you later. Slither off through your garden. Fuck off to Manchester. But was it around about 10, maybe 12 million that we got for him or something like that?
Yeah.
It's for a director of football.
That's class,
wicked. Aye.
Class.
I know, like the 20 million rumor, and Man United fans might be like, didn't get what you wanted. Where was the solid report that we wanted 20 million?
Aye. I think we were just waiting them up for that now just for a few months. Because just delaying it helps us, because then it stops them from making moves in certain areas. And again, he's emailing them, so he knows some of our workings, our secrets, our lists. So that's the worst part about it, that you're losing someone who knows what our plans were, I guess. But that's the dodginess of it, and where I disagree with it. But
anyway, he's out of here. We've cashed in on him, sorted our PSR out, so I haven't got to worry about that. Just search for the next guy up,
because we have got an 80-odd million pound profit there over that weekend with Minteh, Anderson,
lovely profit,
and Ashworth. So that is absolutely lovely. And all needs to be remembered that this was done because of that PSR deadline on Sunday night. Because if we didn't make those sales, we would have been facing a 10-point deduction, is what BBC and everyone was saying now, that it would have been a 10-point deduction for Newcastle United next season if they didn't manage to recoup that money that we did, around 50, 60 million. And obviously we got over that with 70 million, because at the start, a lot of people behind the scenes at the club and stuff were thinking, sell Minteh for 30-odd, that should seem all right. And it turned out it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
We needed to do
sell Anderson, had to make sure that we got that deal done with Man United for Ashworth.
So the reason was, and Sky Sports have said this as well, Newcastle want to attack next season. They want to be going for top 4 again, winning that one game a week, going on a cup run. And if you've got that lingering 10-point deduction over you, it's going to halt everything in it and kill the progress a little bit. So thankfully, we've beat PSR. Now it all starts fresh. So we're going out and splash some cash again.
Splash some cash.
3 years till the next, where you got that turnover of, you're allowed 105 million losses. So we've got the Adidas deal coming in now. That'll help. Obviously, the Sela. All these are counting out towards the European Champions League money we've got as well. So hopefully we can now stop thinking about selling. Won't get in this position again. And spend some bloody money this summer.
Yeah, hopefully we've got some assets that we can actually sell, because we haven't. That has been a problem since the takeover, actually having people worth selling. No wonder we haven't been able to make money. It's been mad. But I am glad that it's been done, and I'm glad that, unfortunately for them too, particularly Minteh and Anderson, didn't want to see either of them go. But it's good, as we've just mentioned, that squad players, in Anderson's case, didn't really know how Minteh was going to play, because he's never played a minute of Premier League football. So it's good things. But I've seen a lot of people saying, "Fuck PSR, just take the deduction." You cannot do that. You kind of just play into their hands and force them to take your hands off, because, like you just said, we haven't got Champions League football, so our aim should be just banging in the Premier League, making sure we get top 4 again. What if we got a 10-point deduction and had that all taken away? We ended up finishing fucking 8th or something.
Well, exactly. Yeah. How tight the league is, you could have been, sitting in 3rd, 4th, and you're 10 points, and you're in 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so you've got to play their game. Unfortunately, I'd love to fuck them off and all, but that's not the way the world works. It's like fucking politics, isn't it? Sometimes you just got to play the game, innit? You've got to like just do what the big man says. Right?
The thing is, in that now, the Premier League would have relished punishing Newcastle. Probably would have been even worse than 10 points.
Yeah,
to be fair.
10 is it? How about 20?
10 points this month, 12 points next month, and then you kind of play in front of any fans for 3 years. You have to play at bloody Kingston Park with the women. That's what it would have been in the Premier League. So,
we kind of got to go along to get along, unfortunately. But yeah, it's done now. But didn't have to sell one of our big boys. Didn't have to sell Bruno, Isaac, or Gordon. Good negotiations, fantastic business this weekend. So credit to whoever's been taking control of that. Darren Eales, Stavely, whoever it's been. Amazing business. Avoided our potential deduction where other teams, I don't know if other teams did, because we might not have been the only one. Chelsea City, Villa, Brighton, who got last year? Forest,
Everton, Leicester.
Yeah, half the league could get deductions at this rate. You never know. But we've done our business, so whatever it is, just move on. Just try and make sure that we're getting top 4 and don't have any bloody stupid point deductions coming forward.
Leicester have sold their best player today,
Dewsbury
Hall, and it still kind of counts because you had a couple of days leeway. Certain paperwork was submitted by the weekend, which it was, so they're probably all right in a sense, even though they're meant to already be facing one for something else, aren't they?
They sent a young to Wrexham the day now. I've seen that young centre back.
Did they? Yeah. And then obviously Chelsea sold Ian Matson, the young left back. They sold a couple of other youngins. Everton sold Ben Godfrey and someone else.
Where did he go again? Germany.
He went to Germany or Italy. I think 10 million or something.
I don't know the figure. I think I just figured that out last night. I've seen people talking about sales, and I've seen Godfrey. I was like, Godfrey, where the fuck's he gone?
Obviously, Villa were involved. They sold Douglas Luiz to Juventus. So
did they get a swap deal?
I think they got 2 players plus cash.
2 players plus 30 million. It wasn't Weston McKennie, was it? Because that was the rumour, wasn't it? It was Weston McKennie and someone else. It
was Atlanta is where Godfrey went to see his Ian.
Atlanta.
Nice little move him.
That's mad.
Not bad.
That's a brilliant move for him.
Brilliant move. Enjoy yourself, Ben. Enjoy yourself. But so it's not just Newcastle that were forced at the sales before that ridiculous PSR deadline. And hopefully, the Premier League wake up and some changes happen there, but unlikely. Anyways, Newcastle weren't just selling over the weekend, Keg. We were also buying freebies. Not spending much, if anything. Goalkeepers. And Lewis Hall, eventually.
All of them.
Let's talk about the goalkeepers first. We gave Elliot Anderson and Nottingham Forest for 35 million, but they wanted us to help them out as well and take a player off their hands. Apparently, we were offered 3 or 4 different players. None of the ones that were specifically wanted, obviously, Nalanga was heavily linked. Or Morgan Gibbs White is obviously a long-term target of ours.
Yeah, they wouldn't get it.
There was even talks. Chris Wood was coming back at one point. There you go. Squad depth. Strikers.
Was that a few weeks ago? There's a third choice striker. How to get them? We shouldn't have fucking sold him in the first place.
John Joe Shelby's still there. He only went on loan at Turkey. He's still in the books. But we ended up with Greek goalkeeper Vladidomas.
I think he goes by his first name. Odysseus. Odysseus.
Odysseus sounds
like
a god.
Yeah, I think that's what he has in his shirt.
Does he? Odysseus.
Right. Yeah. So didn't worry about trying to pronounce his surname.
Good.
Because I cannot.
Yeah.
Odysseus. That'll do.
Odysseus. Chicken Girash. We've got him.
Yeah.
Not too happy that one, either. Bring back Davies ass.
I mean, I didn't see it coming, to be fair. We've been talking about Mamedashvili and James Trafford and all this shit. So, 30-year-old. Didn't see that coming.
No.
Not a starter for Forest. Right.
5 games last season, 12 goals.
Although I have heard, I did have a look in the comments, and there was some people saying that he is good. I don't know if it was Forest fans or maybe it's where he played prior.
Forest fans don't.
Did he have Benfica?
Benfica's where he's that way.
Yeah, so he'd done well for Benfica. And I think maybe some Greek fans and all were in the comments saying that he is good, But I've never even heard of him, to be honest. No. For him playing for a Premier League club, never heard his name before. Never had a note about him, but he's 30-year-old. Couldn't get a game for Forest. Why?
Yeah.
And we've still currently got Pope, Dubravka. Who else we got? Just Carriers? Gillespie, that was it. So yeah, that didn't make any sense. And as you just mentioned, go on to the next topic, John Ruddy. So we got rid of Carriers, which is a signing I didn't even understand at the time anyway. And now we've Now we've got 5 goalkeepers at my senior team. None of them's Mamardashvili. None of them's James Trafford. What the fuck we're doing? I don't understand this.
We've got more backup dancers than Stormzy.
Well, have I? I don't know what we're doing.
So what we're doing, I'll tell you what we're doing, right? So you mentioned he was at Benfica. He had a 60 million release clause at Benfica a couple of years ago. Everyone was saying he's one of the best in Europe. He won a couple of titles there in Benfica. Played well in the Champions League on highlights, so people were gassing him up. Man U were linked with him. Obviously put off the 60 million euro price tag. Then he must have fell off a little bit because he ended up at Forest. And then at Forest, he didn't really get a look in, and he was that bad in their eyes that they had to go and sign Matt Sells. Oh, because Matt Sells they bought last year in January, and he became their number 2, ended up becoming their number 1 ahead of that Matt Turner that they signed, the American keeper. So Matt Sells, remember how bad he was at Newcastle? He is a bit better now, like, to be fair. He was young,
he had a bit of a bad spell too now.
But he's actually an alright keeper, to be fair. But, you're getting him in. It doesn't set you late. It seems a bit, we're obviously getting rid of Dubravka this summer. He will definitely be going. He's, 35 now, Dubravka? 34?
34, yeah.
So that's all right if you've got Odysseas, I guess, is your second, third choice keeper. He doesn't play much. But again, I think they've just looked at it, even after selling people with PSR, and just thought, maybe the goalkeeper position can wait another year.
Pope's I can't see we're signing anyone else.
No, definitely. Unless Pope leaves. Unless Pope gets sold. He has been linked this window with Ipswich, his boyhood club. So unless that happens, then no, we're not signing Trafford.
Boyhood club?
We support them.
Nick Pope?
Is he? I think so, I support Ipswich, Why? Where do you think he's from? Is he not from Ipswich?
I don't know where... So, he's from Soham. And I know that because he was in the same class as Holly and Jessica.
What's that?
The girls who got killed.
Oh, right.
The Ian...
Oh, the caretaker, I think.
Yeah, because he was in the same class as them, and that was Soham. But I didn't know where Soham is. I know they were Man United fans, so that's why I thought it's from around about there. Geography on Soham isn't great.
That went on the chat.
But, that's why I thought he was from around about there. But I suppose when you hear about his accent, maybe it's not so Mancunian. Maybe it is kind of more kind of Anglian, maybe. So I'm not so sure.
I remember, because I mentioned it a couple months ago, in a video, he was linked with Ipswich, and now they were saying, he's a tractor boy from...
yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
All that, but unless we did sell Pope, there's no way we spend a lot of money now on what would be a 5th or 6th keeper in Trafford. And we know we're really heavily involved in James Trafford. We're really wanting him, but Burnley were holding out for that 20 million plus. We were only offering them 15. So that one looks like it's kind of fizzled out. We know Mamardashvili, we've called for him. He's having an amazing Euros. His price would have went up massively, although he does have that release clause, so that still helps. You can get him for like 40 million, which I think would be a bargain. I think it's class. I would absolutely love him. But it looks like Newcastle are going to obviously turn their attention in the finances towards that right wing. Maybe another striker if Wilson leaves, even if he doesn't. Maybe another midfielder, depending on what happens with Longstaff. So, and they're still, that centre back. So I think they're thinking now, Pope will do the job. 1 game a week.
We're
next
not playing
season.
Champions League, so
that'll do. We've got a couple of keepers back up now if we need them for cup games or for whatever. And then we can go ahead and maybe really get that solid number 1 next season. As the way it looks like the club are figuring it out, to be honest. Because
I mean, once you kind of condense it, I've seen someone in the comments there saying, "Do you not realise that you need 3 or 4 goalkeepers, lads?" Like, but not 5.
Yeah, you've got 5, mate.
Like that doesn't add up. So if we sell to Dubravka, he get a bit of profit on Dubravka here. So you got Pope as your number 1, Odysseas as your number 2, which I'm sure is reliable. Like, if you had a 60 million value and he played well at Benfica, he's got to be decent at some level.
Loads of caps for Greece.
Yeah, John Ruddy's experience. Like, he's 37-year-old. He's like my Rob Green, isn't he? Like my Scott Carson. That's what he's going to be. But then I just don't understand why we're re-signed Mark Gillespie. It just doesn't make sense why we kept him on. If we're going to be in the market for a John Ruddy, why have we signed John Ruddy? When you've got Mark Gillespie, like, what's the point? I just don't understand it at all. And you say you don't need 4 goalkeepers. 3 is more than acceptable. If you've got like a good young'un, if you're that desperate, if you dwindle it down, if you've got like your under 23s goalkeeper's good, if you need to promote him to the bench, if say John Ruddy gets on the bench, if Pope's suspended, Odysseas is injured, you start John Ruddy, then you add the fucking 17-year-olds. Like, we've got a couple, to be fair. Is it Aiden Harrison or Hutchinson, something like that? Like, a couple of goalkeepers got on the bench in the Champions League because we're so short on numbers. I'm sure we had 3 goalkeepers on the Champions League. One was a young goalkeeper. Like, that can be a 4th choice or 5th choice, whatever. You don't need 5 senior goalkeepers.
Not when you're playing 1 game a week, no?
No. Like,
not even got Conference League Thursday night trips to Bosnia.
So, yeah, I don't understand the need for all of these goalkeepers. Even selling Dubravka, that still leaves you with 4 senior goalkeepers. We don't need that many.
No.
3's enough with 1 or 2 good young'uns in your under 23s. That's enough.
Did you see? Oh, he had John Ruddy's interview with the club on YouTube.
I watched the first 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, I watched about 2 minutes, give it a bit, and then watched the rest, and it all was just exactly the same thing. Every single sentence was, "I'm here to set standards, me. I've got standards."
Yeah,
got
so
experience.
That's kind of what I got from it. So basically, you're not here to play. That's why you're Scott Carson, you're Rob Green. Like, like you've just come to make up the numbers, show your experience. Maybe it's a bit of leadership, kind of. But then I was going to say, nurture the young'uns, but all the goalkeepers are over 30. We haven't got any young goalkeepers. We haven't got like a Mamadashvili.
We must be saying Trafford. The Trafford deal is
we haven't got Trafford or Mamadashvili who are young kids that need maybe a little bit of coaching. Like, John Ruddy's Premier League experience is massive, but we don't need it. No. We've got no one to nurture. They're all over fucking 30, man.
He was honestly speaking like he just took Eddie Howe's job. I thought he was a manager.
Like, he might be. Maybe he come to do a goalkeeping coaching role or something. I don't know.
Has Tyndall got a number 1 role or something? Or what? Because I thought John Ruddy thinks he's on the touchline. He thinks he's in the dugout giving out instructions. 4-4-2.
What's going on, yeah.
Hey, but it was a bit of a bizarre signing, especially right after the Odysseas one.
Yeah, literally. Like, once we signed him, I didn't understand that one, to be honest. Like, already having Dubravka, Pope, and Gillespie. I thought, signing another goalkeeper. All right.
Dubravka's definitely leaving. That's why.
Then the day after, we're signing fucking John Ruddy.
Yeah,
like,
that's the one.
What's going on?
It'd be all right because we got rid of Karius. Like you said, if we got rid of Gillespie, then you think, sound, we'll get Ruddy and Gillespie. Neither of them is ever going to play, realistically. It doesn't really matter.
I bet Gillespie's absolutely buzzing seeing this. Like, oh, yes. That's me staying at home again for the next year.
Yeah, that 1% chance I had of playing, it just went down to 0% chance of playing. Oh, bring on next season, pre-season tour. You know what I mean? He played that 1 game in Australia, penalty shootout hero. That'll be him now. Won't even get minutes in the Sela Cup. I mean, he's never going to play. But honestly, all I can think of is, like, are we just absolutely destroying these goalkeepers in training? You know, you're just getting John Ruddy in just so he's acting smash them on him all day long. Hey. But anyways, that was it. 2 keepers in, and also the confirmation of Lewis Hall signing a permanent deal for 28 million. Obviously, when it was in the horizon, we signed him last summer from Chelsea on loan. The obligation to buy was in place if Newcastle finished above 14th in the Premier League, which we did comfortably. Yeah. So now Lewis Hall is signed. What was the contract? Actually, I didn't see how long the contract was. Was it 4 years, 5 years? Must be long because he's young, isn't he?
I think it's 5, but I might be talking shit there. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, like I say, with his age, I would imagine it being a long one,
But so Hall's signed on, which I'm buzzing about.
Buzzing with that one, Future left back.
England could left back.
I know. He literally is England's left back.
He literally could be doing it right now, you know.
He could be.
Should be. It's mad.
But yeah, like, we signed him to be our future left back. I know, like, I think Eddie Howe was really, really smart with his development. I think everyone thought there was issues there. Maybe he wasn't good enough, but I think Eddie Howe was just more focused on his development instead of chucking him in, which, like Miley, he had done. But we weren't as thin at the left back position as we were at centre mid. So yeah, we had like your Burn and whatnot.
That's a nice babe there. Aniki sponsored babe.
It was. Tasted like a cheat code. That was lovely.
Sorry for the old listeners on Spotify. Google it.
But yeah, like Lewis Hall. Like, is he 19 now? He must be 19. He was 8. I'm sure
he's 18 when we signed him last year.
So yeah,
season, anyway.
Yeah, he's a class act. So yeah, quite expensive. I think everyone kind of worried about it a little bit last year when that kind of came about. I know it was a loan with an obligation to buy it for like 28 million. People thought that was a lot of money. From when I watched him at Chelsea, I thought he was a really top actor. I think he was really, really good, especially for his age. It is a bit pricey, but I think from that run of form that he had at the back end of last season, like you can say that there is a phenomenal player there for someone that's only 19 years old and with so much Premier League experience. Like playing in a Chelsea team, like a decent Chelsea team, getting quite a few games.
In the Cups as well, he played a lot for Chelsea.
And then obviously what he had last year with us. So yeah, he's quite an experienced young lad for his age. So yeah, I think the price tag's fair. And it could be like another like Gordon where you think, it's a bit pricey that, like I'm not too sure. But then in a year or two's time, you'll think that's a fucking bargain.
I mean, you're paying for potential and you're also paying for English tax, aren't you?
Yeah, I think Tino was maybe a little bit the same. Like he's young, quite a hefty price tag. Can he live up to it?
40 million, Tino, remember?
40?
Was it? 38 million or something,
Well, I don't think it was that much. Anyway, it's worth it still.
Yeah, definitely worth it. You've been class. Should he start then? Do you think he'll be starting first game of the season? Lewis Hall, left back?
Yep, 100%. Has to be.
Lloyd Kelly? Dan Burn? Loves Dan Burn, doesn't he? Can I get him out?
No, I think Hall won that job at the back end of the season. And I think because of Botman's injury, I can see the right back position, as we mentioned before, is still debatable. If we sell Trippier, then it's obviously going to be Tino. If he's still here, then maybe it's a bit of a flip of the coin. Shaw, Burn for me, Hall with Kelly as your number one backup option for both the left side centre back and left back position. And don't forget, I've still got Matt Targett there and all. Like maybe Matt Targett's ready for a big comeback year if he's still in the squad come the first game.
You gotta get rid of him, like.
Yeah, see, I loved Matt Targett, and I know injuries have fucked him over. And then when he has had his very few opportunities, he hasn't really come well. So, yeah, we could sell him. But if we don't, he could be looking for a big comeback, yeah. But now we've got Kelly and Burn. Once Botman comes back as well, then Botman is in the starting lineup. Burn and Kelly are both on the bench. Then you've got some left-back options there. Also, if we keep Trippier, we've got some options in whoever doesn't start. Both Trippier and Tino can both play left-back. So if one of them plays it on the right, the other one can cover. So we've got loads of options at left back. So whether Target stays or not, I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, at only 19 years old, Lewis Hall's by far our best.
He is. I agree. I can't wait to see him. And I did like what he was saying in his interview as well, where he was being brutally honest, where he said, listen, I had to settle down. Like I was angry, upset when I wasn't getting picked by Eddie at the start of the season.
Understandable.
I thought I was ready, but I wasn't.
And he's a Toon fan with a southern accent.
Exactly.
People forget about that. He's parents from Blythe or something like that.
So, he was saying he was ready. I thought I was ready, but now defensively I'm better, tactically I'm better. How was like molding me into the player I want to be, and he's raring to go. And I can't wait.
Yeah, best years are ahead of him.
Definitely. One of the last bits on Newcastle United, then before we just go on to the Euros, I see a lot of people talking about the great game that's going on at the minute between Turkey and Austria. I think Turkey are 1-0 up already. So we all want to get to and watch that, don't we, Keg?
Yeah.
So, 8 minutes in, 1-0 Turkey, 1-0 to them after 1 minute, Demiral. So that game looks good. So exciting stuff there. So lastly, on Newcastle United, on St. James's Park, the East Stand font is finally being changed, Keg. There was rumours going around because people were on the old stadium tours not long ago, taking photos, and the signs. Newcastle United officially released a photo yesterday. Yeah. The sign coming down.
Eyes emoji.
Eyes emoji. Teasing with good stuff. Last of the Mike Ashley Stinky Sports Direct era. Wiped away.
Absolutely. Yeah, buzzing for it. And I think people forget about that and all. Like, it's a bit of like it's almost like a non-feature, but it's also like a prominent feature. Like, it's like a big thing in the stadium. Obviously, Newcastle United's name up there in the stadium. Like, it is quite a big feature that people probably kind of sweep under the rug a little bit. And I think people don't realise that it was put up by Mike Ashley in like the Sports Direct font.
I guess people are commenting on our Facebook stuff saying, it's always been there. I remember it being there. Yeah, but
the words have been.
The words have been. Not the same font. Not the horrible
if you go back to like the 90s, early 90s.
It's nice there. Smart.
It was just kind of basic. So I don't know if we're going to go back to that. I think that would be like a nice homage.
We should do something new,
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So I think it would be a nice homage to go back to how it was. Like during the days of like your Keegans and your Robsons and stuff, like I'd be for it, but something new could ruin it. It needs to be. I don't know if it needs to be nice or just kind of simple. I don't know if you can like balance both of them. I think if you kind of go a bit too audacious, it might look a bit shit.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to go over the top with it.
So that's why I think going back to it was just simple but nice. It looked good.
Why not just like the way it is on the badge? I suppose the way it is on the crest. That'd be fine, wouldn't it? That's fun on the just keep it simple like that. I think you have to have it traditional, but also we shouldn't have what we had in the 90s. It has to change a little bit.
Yeah, in the new era.
In the new era, but none of that bold, fonty, big Sports Direct crap. We don't want that at all. We don't want that at all. But it's a nice touch in it. It's nice. Nice again. The owners. Yeah, you got to think of all the things they're doing. With the Shiraz bar, all the other things they've done since then. Obviously, Stack's nearly done. Club shop's getting done at the minute, so they're doing a lot in around St James Park. Yeah,
pulled the Shiraz statue into the actual grounds of St James Park. Yeah,
still blank that little spot on the road, isn't it? Weird.
Yeah,
the gates around nothing.
Yeah, just covering the invisible statue there, right?
Yeah, strange. Let's wrap things up with Euro 2024 then. We know the game's ongoing at the minute. This could be a future opponent for England in the semi-finals. Netherlands won today as well, 3-0 over Romania. England done it again. The luckiest, jammiest manager in the history of the game, Gareth Snoozegate, got the job done. We've got Switzerland on Saturday, Keg. Quarter-final business.
All right.
Make or break. Before we get into that quick preview. Wow. Jude Bellingham, 95th minute, first shot on target. That's what it took to beat Slovenia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madness, eh?
Oh, God.
What a tournament.
Insane. Absolutely insane. What, for England or for in general?
That would be
I think it's been a shit tournament.
I thought the first,
anyone's been
the group
great.
Stages were good. You had Georgia and stuff firing and Romania finishing top of their group. But the knockout games been boring against France. It's because everyone's been shit.
Yeah, no one's
Spain
are
the only decent team. They're smashing Georgia the night. They've been looking good. Young Yamal and that. The midfield's been really good with Rodri, Pedri. But Germany started well. They've kind of meh.
Yeah.
Portugal last night.
I think a lot
France,
of teams are just average.
Belgium got knocked out by them. Both
scraping through. England included. Like everyone's just scraping through. Like
everyone's
like Spain are the only decent team because they went unbeaten in their group stage and won 4-1 against Georgia. But I'm still not that impressed by Spain. Like I think every group game was just okay. They got the job done. Lesser opposition, done well. Georgia. Oh, that great! They've got a good goalkeeper and a good.
They were just exciting because they were just fucking.
Yeah, But I'm not even all that enthused about Spain, to be honest with you. But yeah, they are by far the best of a bad bunch. I think everyone's just been absolutely shite.
I'm rating Spain. I think they're looking really good with Yamal, Williams as the wingers. Like that three midfield so settled. That Fabian Ruiz is having a great tournament. He's doing really well. But you could make the argument that they haven't really been tested that much yet either.
Nah, so. That's what I mean. That's why I'm not like buzzing about them. Like I don't think they've been great because I don't think they've had any serious opposition. Even in the group games, they didn't really blow anybody away. Like they blew Georgia away, who are a decent team, but because like that fearless. That's why that I say
first
decent.
Ever tournament they got the knockouts.
Realistically, that's shite. Like, on,
two good players.
Two good players.
The striker who's joined top scorer,
yeah, that's true. So yeah, they've got some decent players, but yeah, not overly impressed. But back to England, mamma mia, that was just
awful.
Like
painful.
Words can't even.
Dreadful.
That's just go through the thesaurus. Just pick out some words. Look under shit and find out all the words.
Unlucky, more
just,
so. Mad that Southgate's got more knockout wins than any other England manager in history. You seen that?
On paper, Gareth Southgate probably has been our best manager maybe since Alf Ramsey.
Factually and statistically, he has.
Yeah, since Alf Ramsey. Yeah. Because, got to our first final since 66. We've done a semi-final. What semi-final in 2018 was our first semi-final since 96, was it? Mm-hmm. Euro 96?
You got to think we were literally, though, without Bellingham's brilliance, unreal overhead kick, we are seconds away from getting knocked out in the round of 16 against Slovenia. It was like Iceland all over again.
We've got Bellingham. It was the La Liga Player of the Year, won the league and the Champions League.
Yeah.
You got Foden, the Premier League Player of the Year, won the Premier League. Kane was the German Golden Boot winner. You've got millions and millions of pounds in the team. Like Rice was 105 million. Gordon had double figures, goals and assists, was about 45 million. Who else was there? Stones. Bowen scored a lot of goals last year. Watkins, leader in assists and about 19 Premier League goals.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Second top goal scorer.
Yeah. In all of this, and you play Slovakia and can't get a shot on target until 95 minutes.
Slovakia. Martin Dubravka.
Absolutely insane. But he didn't do out. 95 minutes until the shot on target and no went in.
That's Martin Dubravka for you.
Dubravka done fuck all.
Harry Kane knock-on header at the back post, man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it was a mess. It was an absolute
insane
mess. But I tell you what, I sat here a few weeks ago saying it's coming home.
Yeah, you did. I tipped England to win.
I'm still sticking by it.
Yeah, fucking insane.
I genuinely am. I'm saying it. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be exciting.
Because of what we just said about the other teams, I could see it. If someone knocks Spain out, then we probably could fluke it.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably play Spain in the final, won't we?
They got France in the quarters?
They'll have them in the semis. No. Friday night,
They've got a good team.
Friday night, it's Spain, Germany, innit?
Is it Germany?
And then it's Portugal, France.
Portugal, France.
That's why I'm saying it's still coming on, because we're on the other side of the draw.
Yeah.
If we had any of those this weekend, now a quarter-final, good night, Gorgon night.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Switzerland. You can't look past your next opponent.
I mean, sure.
They beat they beat Italy 2-0.
Italy, easy.
Yeah.
Italy were terrible, but yeah. Switzerland have beat, people sleep on Switzerland.
I'm worried about Switzerland.
They've been a decent team for years,
Yeah.
They're up there in the rankings. They always do well. They're hard to beat.
They're the best centre back in the world.
Mbolo up top, can grab a goal. They've got the best bargain buy in the history of mankind in Fabian Shaw. So, put it how I think we'll just edge Switzerland, and then you'll have...
They're my work team in Switzerland.
It'll be Turkey or... as it stands, Turkey beating Austria or Netherlands in the semi, won't it? Which I think will beat them and all. That's what I'm saying. We'll get the final and we'll fluke it. Maybe I'm still being a bit optimistic. I mean, if I had to say now, realistically, I think Spain are going to win the lot. I think they're going to beat Germany. I think they're going to win it.
Yeah, best team so far, but as I said, I'm not overly impressed by them. I think they're best of a bad bunch. But it's been a shite tournament so far.
It's mad, but I can just say I think everything's so jammy and so lucky for Southgate. This game on Saturday night will be absolutely honking yet again. It will probably be 1-0, or actually, I think it'll go to penalties and we'll win on pens.
I kind of predicted that we'd get that goal, particularly as late as it was going on. We were going for it. We had Palmer on, I think made a bit of difference. Changed things up, had Saka at left back.
Kane missed a really good open header.
Yeah, the more that we were pushing for it, I was just thinking, I bet we're going to win this, I had a feeling we were going to get that equaliser and probably take it to extra time. Well, then we scored, 52 seconds into extra time? And then that was it. I knew that was it. It's just typical Southgate. No matter if it's the fucking first minute or the last minute, get a goal lead, defend it. So I knew that was it. I kind of seen that coming. I knew we were going to get that equaliser. And then within 52 seconds, going ahead, that was going to be it. We weren't going to score any more goals than that. We were going to win that game 2-1. That was it. But yeah.
For Switzerland, seeing how it is. How do you think that's going to play out?
I genuinely don't know.
I'm going to go penalties win, 4-3 on pens. There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be tight.
It's not going to be easy. I do think Switzerland are a very good, underrated team. We just said, beat Italy 2-0, who beat us in the final in 2021.
I think Switzerland could be a better game for us, though, because they are not going to have such a low block like everyone else has. We've came up against every team, but Denmark a little bit, that didn't want to play.
I'd just like to see a bit of change. Just seeing this starting 11, just so unenthusiastic. I like that we started Manu. Because I think he was probably the best centre mid that we tried out of Trent and Gallagher.
Did really well, Manu.
So, yeah, other than Manu, the rest of the starting 11 just pissed us off a little bit. I thought that was the prime opportunity to get Gordon in.
Yeah.
Because Foden hadn't fucking trained.
Been wiping nappies, man.
Aye? The day after the Slovenia game, flew out. I don't even know when he got back, but it was only a 4-day break or something.
Barely
so
trained.
It couldn't have been that long. So
being crap all tournament anyways.
Wouldn't have worked on the game plan. Wouldn't have done now. So yeah, that would have been the prime opportunity to get an actual. Even I thought Eze done alright when he came on. So any winger,
any actual winger. Even Eze though, it wants to be a 10 and he is kind of a 10.
Yeah.
So you've got that. You've got the left hand side is so dead for England. There's no whiff there. There's no option. It's so predictable. It's so easy to play against. you've got the best left winger, not just from Newcastle United fan point of view, from a statistical point of view in the Premier League last season, the best left winger, goals and assists output, and he still can't get a game. It's insane, man.
We mentioned it last week, the potential of Saka playing left back. Did go in there because Trips picked up a bit of an injury. So maybe that might have, probably not, but might have woke Southgate up a little bit and think, oh, this is actually going to rate this a little bit. So you get Palmer in, get Palmer starting on the right wing. Makes the difference every time. Palmer get Saka left back, get Trips out. Then at least that's something. Probably still going to start Foden, but you can maybe switch things up during the game.
Wow.
But at least that would be something. Like at least that's kind of 2 changes. Get Trips out. Switch Saka, get Palmer in, straight away, Manu in, straight away, that's a difference maker. And then I'm not enthused by his substitutes, but at least like we can maybe bring in like an Eze or a Gordon and just change things up. Like, but I've just got any confidence he's going to do anything.
I know that's a horrible thing. We come out here with all these options that could work and would work, but now you'll just stick to the same old playbook.
Yeah.
Which is mad because I'm saying he's so lucky that I think things could be forced upon him, that they just fell in his lap. That you just said there, Saka having to go to left back, he's probably thinking, oh, that looked all right. Actually, maybe I should probably do that. Probably still won't.
Probably not going to.
Yeah. I might do it. And then you've got Palmer on the right. You've got Gahey, who's now suspended. Who's having a good tournament. So probably Konza's going to come in for him. There's even other things you could do where you go with the wing backs, where maybe Trent comes in.
We did that later on, didn't we?
Saka comes in. You have the wing backs, and then you could have.
Is he playing like wing back?
I thought it worked well with Tony up top. Tony and Kane up top.
Tony was good.
You know what I mean? Tony had the flick on for Kane's win. I thought you could easily play Tony or Watkins up front of Harry Kane. Easily.
I'll ask you this, and our time's ticking on a little bit. Yeah, we're going over an hour and 20. But did you see the thing where Tony didn't want to come on?
Why? Because you're so pissed off that he was going to get seconds.
He didn't want to come on. I was like, wait, fuck you then. I'll put Watkins on.
I
don't like that attitude, man. I know he
well, we know Tony's attitude, don't we?
But he got the assist for the winner, but I don't like that attitude, man. Like, represent your country. You've been asked to come on and do your fucking job. Get on, do it. Like, don't fucking whinge about it. I'd be like, right, we were sit down. Ollie, come on.
Send you back to the plane home. I mean, I get it.
I don't like that,
frustration thing. Like,
I get it.
It's a bit like when Klopp brought on Salah and he was like, well, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? It's 2 minutes to go. What am I going to do? But, you should be, like you said, proud to represent your country, even get that
you've been asked to do your fucking job. Get on and do it.
And lo and behold, you end up playing 40 minutes because you got extra time.
Yeah.
So, try and make a difference. You should have a different outset and mindset there, really. Maybe Watkins instead.
Yeah, I don't like that, mate.
The two up top thing worked. There's food for thought for Southgate. We know Switzerland having a good tournament. They are a decent team. But if you could have offered us Switzerland in a quarter final. On the other side of the draw, you got France, Germany, Spain, Portugal. Away, man.
Yeah, we've got the rub of the draw there. But
Saturday and into the last 4 of a major tournament.
Yep.
Wake the fuck up and sort it out. You know what I mean?
But in Southgate's mind, though, he's thinking, "Well, we've got this far playing the same team. Why would I change this?
Didn't fix what's not broken.
I went well winning games.
I mean, we're getting there."
Stick to the same. I might even switch it up and bring Trent back in.
I mean, I'll experiment. People are whinging, I'm not playing anyone. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. She means I haven't Tony centre back. So I'm going to do.
But Luke Shaw in
clearances. Well, I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. He's been training for weeks. What, you know what I mean? Oh, my days. Anyways, that'll do, Peter. We're closing on an hour and a half long podcast. So,
big one.
Thanks very much, everyone that's tuned in live on YouTube. See you in the comments. Appreciate the support. Shouting at everyone that's listening back on all audio platforms. We are available on Spotify, Google, Apple, everywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. Thank you to Anarchy Brewery for hosting us this evening. You can scan that QR code or head to warflags.org.uk to grab yourselves a pack of war beer and support War Flags in the process. Cheers, Keg. Been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. It has been a very good one.
It has. Flew over.
A lot to talk about. It's been good.
Subscribe to that by Channel TV.
Enjoy yourself.